Nick Brown, Superintendent, Maryville Schools. Another episode, or edition if you want to call it, of our Inside Maryville. Going around learning about all the different types of programs and opportunities for our kids that we offer. We hope you're enjoying these. I'm in a very patriotic room, if you want to say that. We are in our junior ROTC room. It is aligned with the Air Force. Yes. And I'm going to allow this young man to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about it.
Hi, my name is Senior Master. I'm Dan Rossman. I am a junior ROTC instructor here at Maryville High School. This is my 14th year of teaching with the program. Myself and along with Major Robinson run this program, and ROTC has been at Maryville for 17 years. So.
How many students actually come through the program, and what types of classes do you offer?
Well, we offer 4 levels of the ROTC program, so a first year, a second year, third year, and fourth year. So a student could typically start as a freshman and be with us all throughout their high school. Normally we have around 100 to 125 cadets per year. We're a little bit low this year because we couldn't recruit as many people from at the end of last year. But normally we are about 100, 125. We would like to build that up, and we've been up as high as 175 cadets. But we want to build that program back up to that point after we get through this pandemic.
Okay. Yeah, we'd love to get it up into 200 if we could. And so here's the question that I'm sure is on some folks' mind. I come into the high school, I sign up for junior ROTC. Have I just enlisted in the military?
No, you have not. Our program is, and again it goes back to our mission statement, to develop citizens of character dedicated to serving their community and their nation. All right? So what we're trying to do is make these high school students better high school students. Because if we can create a better high school student in here over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, when they graduate high school, they're going to be better for our country, they're going to be better for our communities.
Okay, very good. Now, have you had graduates go into the military after being in the ROTC?
Yes, we have, every year we have a few, and I mean it's a very few. A handful of cadets will go on into the military. Our job here at ROTC is not to push them into the actual military. Our job is to make them better citizens. But we have people that go into the Navy. We have people that have gone into the Army, Air Force, Marine Corps. We've never had anyone go into the Coast Guard yet, but maybe someday. But right now we have 2 seniors in our ROTC program. They have already enlisted in the Navy. I have 2 others that have enlisted in the Army. Okay. And so those are the 4 that we know that after they get done with the with this year, they're going to go. And I do have 1 guy that is projected to go to the Marine Corps. He hasn't raised his hand yet, but so there's 5 out of a total of about 100 cadets.
Okay, very good. And I would assume then that when they go into the military, there's always some surprise with the training and the boot camp system, but they have some understanding of the rigor and expectations for esprit de corps and also just the drills, because you have a drill team.
Yes, we do. So when they go off to basic training, our program, if they have a desire to go into the military, the program itself allows them to gain rank. So as you go in, as an enlisted person, you get stripes. And by being in the program, depending on which branch of the military, you could get 2 stripes right out of basic training. The Marines only allow 1 stripe, but the Army and the Air Force and Navy would allow 2 stripes, which means they would get actually higher pay. How does that translate to basic training though? When they're in basic training, they already have a real good understanding of what it is to be disciplined, to know what drill is, to be able to do the customs and courtesies. And so they have a jump ahead of the other people in basic training. And most of the time, my students that go into the military are usually named as one of the top graduates for their basic training classes.
Very good. Now, tell us a little bit about the drill team. You actually compete
We do. Normally we do about 3 drill competitions a year. There's no Air Force drill competitions in the local area, but we will go to Michigan, Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio, different places to compete. Over the last couple of years, we've really developed the program, and we put a team in every category, whether it be the first year team, unarmed, armed, or color guard team, or the advanced team that has the armed, unarmed, color guard, exhibition team, armed exhibition team, and our inspection team. And last year we were only able to go to 2 competitions, and we took first overall at the Anchor Bay competition and second overall at the Howell competition. So we do quite well with our program.
Very good. And many of you might see our cadets in the program are around the school for different evening events. I know that when we bring in guest speakers or have other superintendents or schools coming in for professional development, ROTC students are there to greet and give directions, but they also go to the basketball games, football games. What do they do with those?
Well, for the basketball games or like the football games, we provide a 4-person color guard team that actually presents the colors with the national anthem. So if you ever get a chance to go to a football game outside of this pandemic, you will see our cadets walking straight out down the 50-yard line and present the colors to the audience. And then they get out there, and then the band will start the national anthem. They present the colors, and then afterwards we'll take the colors off and the football game starts. We do it for the senior faculty basketball game. We also provide those escorts for not only for conferences for youth, but we also provide those escorts for, or those cadets for parent-teacher conferences. Those are things that we provide for the school. And remember, we also provide cadet support for our local communities. One of the things that we really like to do normally is do our Adopt a Highway, where we help our local community by taking care of Broadway. And another one is right down the street on Broadway is the food bank. So we provide cadet support, and we show them what our second core value is: service before self. You do things beyond what your personal desires. You do things to help out other and not just yourself.
All right, thank you very much. Great. As we continue exploring the junior ROTC program here, we have a new member of the staff. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Major John Robinson. I am retired in the active duty Air Force. I retired after 23 years of active duty. And my area of expertise, I guess you would say, in the Air Force has been space operations. I spent a significant amount of time doing space operations in Colorado, missile warning, things of that nature, as well as I did 4 years of ICBM launch officer duty in North Dakota. And my most recent job before I retired was down in Purdue, where I taught college level ROTC for the students there at Purdue who will be actually going to get a commission and join the Air Force after they graduate from Purdue and get a degree. So I saw this position open up as an opportunity, and I thought it sounded great for me to continue teaching. And so I applied, and I was fortunate enough to get this position here.
We're excited to have you here. And it also sounds like you have a wealth of experience. So for students that go into the ROTC program, if they continue into college and do ROTC, the skills you learned not only prepare you for the military, but for other careers outside of the military at some point, correct?
Yes, definitely. The skills that we teach the cadets here in junior ROTC are applicable to any kind of job you would get out in the real world, so to speak. So professionalism, respect, hard work, and just responsibility, that sort of thing is going to be applicable to all jobs. And if they stick through the junior ROTC program through the first year, they don't do too much leading or anything like that, but as they progress through, if they stick with us, they will have an opportunity to lead, and as a junior and a senior to lead for different projects, just helping out with the uniforms, leading small little events that we have here. And we have a corps commander who's in charge of all the cadets, and then that changes every year, so that gives them a real world leadership opportunities, and that specific thing would be great to apply for any kind of college scholarship because they have what we call leadership experience. And I know that being at Purdue, that we have Air Force scholarships, and I've interviewed high school students. One of the things I ask them, especially if you're getting an Air Force scholarship, is do you have any leadership experience? A lot of times high school kids say no because they haven't really had that much experience yet, but if they happen to be the Corps commander or something like that here, that gives them very good leadership experience to take onto their next event.
Well, see that, so if you come through and you get those opportunities, you'll learn how to be a leader, and those experiences then will help you in other adventures in your life. Now, we hear that a student could sign up in the freshman and stay with it all 4 years. Kind of briefly, what's the difference between year 1, 2, 3, 4?
So it's kind of a progression from year 1 to year 4. There are 2 different areas though that we have lessons in. Senior Master Sergeant Rassman, he teaches the leadership skills, leadership education and skills. And that's where a lot of that leadership and management stuff comes in. For example, by the time they get to be 4 levels, AS4s, seniors, they're actually getting he looks at the book that we teach them. It's similar to his college management book that he had when he was going through his bachelor's degree in college, like talking about project management, this kind of organizational management. But then go all the way back to freshman year in his class, they mostly teach about what the Air Force is, what the program is, like educating them on how the program works, how to wear the uniform and things like that. And then he includes things like, he has topics on money management, credit cards, loans, things like that that can keep you financially well, I guess. Skills that maybe they don't get elsewhere are able to get in Senior Master Sergeant Rassman's classes. Whereas in my class, I teach the freshmen about aerospace studies. So I started with the first years about history of aviation, going back all the way to hot air balloons and the Wright brothers, all the way through World War I, World War II. It's kind of a history type thing. And then the second year and third year, I'll teach them either about the science of flight, like how do things actually fly? You know, people don't really always know what keeps giant airplanes in the air. I teach them the science behind that, as well as space. We have a newer book which is about space, which I'm not teaching that this year, but I'm looking forward to teaching it next year. I mean, talking about satellites, orbits, things like that, kind of your basic space stuff, which I really like that topic. And then finally, for the seniors, I teach them about cultural studies. Diversity is important in this world, and we learn a lot about the different countries that we are in, or we are engaged in and partnered with throughout our various conflicts and operations in the military. And we learn about all those different cultures and what they can bring to the table and how it's important to be understanding of different cultures and be sensitive to that. So.
Very good. Well, it sounds very exciting. They're great opportunities. If it's something you think you're interested in just to gain some leadership skills, come on in and join these courses of study. If you think you might be interested in a military career, it's a great way to start. And it sounds like if you do, you might even be able to get a little head start from those others when they sign up as well. So there are great opportunities here, a lot to learn, a lot of exciting things. Learn about how airplanes fly, just the dynamics of that. There's quite a bit to it. And so we're very excited to have you here. Welcome. And we look forward to a long, long tenure with us. We've got a strong program. We want it to grow, get up to 200 kids if we can. So think of this as an opportunity for you. And remember, once a pirate, always a pirate.